Hey guys, it's Kingdom Orange 2 here, and welcome back to my channel.
Due to Mermaze Mermaid's sheer lack of presence on social media, with their last Instagram post on November 20th, 2022, and their last YouTube video uploaded almost 2 months ago, many fans are beginning to speculate that this doll line has been cancelled. While MGA has not officially commented on the matter, it's pretty hard to ignore the subtle signs that this line has been discontinued. So for today's video, I wanted to delve into the short history of Mermaze Mermaidz, talk about the webisodes, and give some of my opinions on the dolls and why I personally believe this line has been officially cancelled. So with that, let's not waste any more time and dive right into it. The very first glimpse we were given of the doll line was when a leaked photo of Kashiko began circulating around the internet in December 2021. A month later, on January 24th, the official Mermaze Instagram account went live and began uploading silhouettes of the costume actresses before finally revealing each of the dolls in the lineup. The initial release consisted of 5 mermaids: Kashiko the fashionista, Jordy the athlete, Riviera the rocker, Harmonique the pop star, and Chanel the fashionista. Each doll stood around 13 inches tall, had glass inset eyes, long hair, and molded on plastic tails which could change color when placed in either hot or cold water. The dolls retailed for around $32.99 and came with simple accessories like sunglasses or a guitar. Also, they were displayed in such a way that consumers could actually touch and feel their tails while still in the package. I don't know what the reasoning behind this was, but maybe someone can explain their thoughts down below. Now, as great as these dolls seem, they still had their flaws. For starters, the idea that the dolls wouldn't need stands because their tails acted like one was good in theory. However, in practice, it not only looked awful, but balancing the dolls proved difficult as the mermaids were very heavy above their torso. Since the tails were additionally entirely made out of plastic, you couldn't remove them, and people didn't like how they weren't articulated. Fans also weren't really fond of the color change feature. Oftentimes it wouldn't work, and people thought a lot of the color changes were just straight up ugly, like how Harmonique's tail goes from dark blue to gray. And finally, the price of these dolls seemed very steep. Though they were lovely, nobody really believed that a doll that only came with one accessory was worth $33, especially since you could get a Rainbow High doll at the time for $27 that came with a stand and a second outfit. Speaking of steep prices, their next release added further to every consumer's confusion. Marked as a collector's doll, Aura originally sold for $44.99 and came with 4 glitter hair gels, bobby pins, and a brush. While people did really like the additional articulation that was added at her knees, nobody cared for her molded on top and tail stand. And Mermaze Mermaidz continued to grow with the addition of a winter theme line known as Winter Waves. This line featured the return of both Kashiko and Harmonique, as well as 3 new characters: Gwen, Nira, and Christabella. Each doll maintained the same color change feature from the first, but came with more wintry accessories such as a jacket, makeup, and mug. Since their tails were a lot sharper on the bottom, this line of mermaids came with a stand as well. Another doll character that was introduced was the Mix and Match Mora. She retailed for $49.99 and had interchangeable tails and fins, a clothing rack for her outfits, a color change tail and makeup, and hair that you could twist from black to pink. Mermaze Mermaidz also released 2 playsets. The first was an Ocean Cruiser convertible, which was able to change colors when submerged in water and had a cool glitter effect thing. The other was a salon and spa. This playset included a shower, bubble wall, bathtub, and beauty products, and was sold for the whopping price of $100. Now personally, while I only ever bought one doll from this line, I wasn't a really big fan. I found the glass eyes to be kinda creepy, and since the dolls all have the same exact facial screening, they're a bit hard to tell apart. In all honesty, it took me forever to figure out who is Harmonique and who is Kashiko in the Winter Waves line, and the fact that they completely redesigned their tails didn't help either. I'm also not super crazy about most of the characters' designs. Some of them are really unique and tell me a lot about what the character is talented at, but besides Jordy, Gwen, Rivera, and Chanel, I either found the character designs to be kind of ugly or just not really unique or interesting. Also, I couldn't figure out what the inspiration was behind a lot of the names. While most mermaid dolls have some cliche and punalicious names for characters, I found a lot of Mermaze Mermaidz names like Jordy, Mora, Christabella, and Nira to be pretty hideous and not tell me anything about the characters. Like seriously, whose idea was it to have two sisters named Mora and Aura? Also, what I never understood was what the target market for this doll line is. I'm not saying that all mermaid dolls are for young kids, but usually children like to take their mermaid dolls underwater and remove their tails, which is definitely not something Mermaze Mermaidz were designed for in mind. Now, just like most great doll lines post 2010, Mermaze Mermaidz decided to dip their fins into webisode territory. Released semi-weekly on YouTube, the plot centered around our 5 maid mermaids who live in the underwater mystic city. After carefully observing their talents, Aura believes that they are perfect candidates to help save their town, and most of the series follows the mermaids trying to figure out how to successfully master their fin color change, as well as find out who is behind the fading colors of the city. But just like any animated doll cartoon, it does have its very good and very bad aspects. For starters, I actually really loved the animation, and I personally believe it had one of the best theme songs for a doll line I've ever heard. For some reason, the official Mermaze YouTube channel never released a music video, but it's a really beautiful song, and I wonder why they decided not to share it. I also really loved a lot of the character designs for the supporting cast. I'm gonna touch on this a bit later, but I will say that I think some of these character designs were even better than the ones that dolls were made for. Now, while I do appreciate how the writers tried to tie in the color chain aspect of the dolls into the major plot of the show, I just didn't really find the storyline to be super interesting. To me, I just couldn't understand why the mermaids were so obsessed with changing the colors of their tails. For the main girls, it was to protect Mystic City, and for Mora, Aura's evil twin sister, it was to stop her from constantly shape-shifting. But besides those two reasons, why did the rest of the mermaids care so much about it? I don't know, I just felt like if the writers would have made the color change more significant, like maybe it granted them additional superpowers, it could have been way more of an interesting storyline. I also just found the side plots to be kind of boring. I hate that they made Harmonique and Rivera sisters. I can't figure out exactly why, but I think it would have been much more intriguing if they were like dueling singers rather than sisters who argued over finding time to rehearse. Now, the last episode of Mermaze Mermaidz ended off on a cliffhanger, but there are a couple reasons why I think this line has still been unfortunately canceled. First is that typically even between seasons, most of these toy companies will continue to upload unnecessary compilation videos to get a lot of YouTube ad revenue, and Mermaze Mermaidz hasn't been doing any of that. Also, while I have absolutely no idea how people obtain this information, way back in July of last year, many Instagram fans leaked potential names and prototypes of future Mermaze dolls. One of the names on this list was a slumber party line, which wasn't really shocking to me considering the amount of detail I noticed in the show for these pajama-themed mermaids. Another future doll line known as Sirens, however, actually did have leaked prototypes. These dolls were supposed to be miniature versions of the Mermaze Mermaidz and included 3 new characters, Sapphire, Nebula, and Hope. However, still to this day, none of these dolls have been released, with the last line of Mermaze Mermaidz coming out in stores all the way back in October. While it could easily mean that the doll line is taking a break to rebrand, all of the signs aren't looking too good. It seems to be that mermaid dolls just aren't the hot thing for the past couple of years, and maybe these doll companies need to head back to the drawing board. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you think is going on with Mermaze Mermaidz, and do you believe that I've completely jumped the gun with this video? Also, feel free to connect with me on both my Instagram and TikTok pages. I love meeting new people there and getting to know all of you.
If you liked this video today and want to see more content in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I will see you soon. Bye!